Yo, what's going on? Enrique here, and I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the build on the Modular 16 from Teenage Engineering, the little Pocket Operator 16 modular keyboard step sequencer thing. For starters, this thing is way easier to build than the 400. This maybe, with filming included, took me, about an hour, if that. And if I wasn't filming, it probably would have taken me like 5 minutes. It's super simple, super easy. They give you a lot more parts than you actually need. Well, at least when it comes to the screws, you don't need all the screws, but that's probably just to save on packaging because it looked like the same package as the 400. Oh, and really quick, in case you're just trying to get down to the jam and me messing around with this thing, jump to this timestamp right here. So utilizing a nice flat surface with something on it, for example the instructions, you can get a nice simple easy bend to the metal. That way you don't have to worry about it being all warped and it'll just be one smooth continuous bend. This part was a little sketchy. This was kind of getting the keyboard, the main part, on to the unit itself. I went ahead and just stuck the little ribbon cable through first, then took off the tape and tried to align it the best I could, but it was still super scary. I enjoyed this way more than I did the 400. Batteries, this sucked. I had to go run and buy some batteries because in the manual it says AA's, but when you look at the board itself, it's actually AAA's, not AA's. And then another kind of weird typo in the manual is that it says put the batteries pointed down, when really the batteries need to be pointed up, not down. That's basically it. Screw on the last 4 screws, put on all the knobs, and you're good to go. And again, way easier than the modular 400 that they have. So, and I honestly kind of find this way more useful in my setup. So let's go ahead and jam out with this thing. Alright, so I got a simple patch here, and being completely honest, during the build I was so focused on just building this thing, even though it didn't take nearly as long as the 400, but I didn't really even realize the potential of this thing, because you have 4 tracks, right? The keyboard plus 3 tracks that are sequencers, and up to 64 steps. So for example, this little patch I got here, basically all that's going on right now is I'm sending pitch and a trigger to the entity percussion, which is this analog percussion style sound voice from SSF. One of my favorite things ever. I'm glad they finally made it in black, which is one of the things that was holding me off from getting it, as dumb as that sounds. That's going into the endorphins filter, followed by the Milky Way. So we got the Squawk Dirty as the filter, and then the Milky Way doing all the little reverby, liquidy sounds. Really simple patch. The trigger is also moving the mimetic one step at a time. And I don't have anything patched. That's just in case for later. So, cool. Little patch going, right? We'll speed this up a little bit. So another patch I got going on here, I almost wish I had a bigger case so I could really take advantage of all these outputs, but I have the program gate of track 2 going to the noise CV of the entity. So the entity also has a noise CV. If I unplug this and turn this up, right? But if I just ignore that, the noise has a CV and I can actually control it from here. So if I just add this, oh, whoops. So then, check this out. This was really cool. I did this earlier. I'll take the CV of that track, which is going to the noise, but I'll send this to something else. We'll send this to the harmonics of the entity. So immediately, the CV, this keyboard, is changing this knob here. So if we turn off the program, we go down an octave. See, this, sure you hear the noise. If I ignore the noise for now, this opens up the harmonics, and this kind of closes them down. If I go up an octave, and then lower, right? So I can use this to my advantage. I can say, so now I'm kind of CV controlling the harmonics of this thing. And another fun thing is now I can say track 1, I'll just take just the CV of it and send it to the filter. Ooh, that sounds cool. So I'll say track 1, go up an octave. Let's see. And we'll make this 32 steps. So turn on program, boom, boom, run. This is so tight. And let's take something from the mimetic. We'll take 4, send that to the body. Let's see, let's do decay 3. And boom, I can easily save this. Let's say save it to 15. So that right there is pretty tight. If I go over to track, actually we can do some keyboard stuff now that I think about it. So the keyboard has 3 outputs, and let's send this to what? What do we want to send this to? Maybe the ring? That's pretty dope. And I'll also send this to whatever this does. Damn. So this alone, this thing is way more powerful than I originally thought. I kind of dismissed it as this kind of, I mean, this toy, right? Like, look at the size and the jacks and all that stuff. And I haven't even really touched base on its arpeggiator or anything. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. I'll go to track 3, harp, and turn that to decay up. I mean, this is just such a fun exploratory kind of tool. It's got the MIDI out as well, which is really unique. And yeah, like sending all this stuff to just different things that aren't just modular stuff. I mean, it's a great way to kind of tie a lot of things together. And even if I were to have, you know, 2 voices, like a kick, this thing which is doing my hi-hats, and then this which is also doing my bass line, that would be enough to kind of get the basis for a track going down with just this little thing. And it's battery powered. I mean, it's actually really fun. The one thing I will say about it though is pushing these are a lot harder than I originally thought. I was actually expecting to just kind of be touch, but I literally have to kind of jam my finger in. I don't know if that's just the way I apply this thing, but that from my experience, that's kind of what it is. Another thing too I haven't messed with is the effects. So let's see what the effects do. Oh, it just applies an effect to everything. That's dope. I wish it was like you can record that in. I may be wrong. But the other thing that's kind of nice. Man, this thing sounds good. But anyway, that's really it. I just kind of wanted to explore this thing and mess around with it a little bit and just dive into it and learn it. I mean, that's the one great thing about making videos like this and exploring things with you, is that in order for me to actually kind of talk about this and figure it out, I have to learn it first, and then I can explain it to you, right? So, but yeah, I'm gonna just jam around on this thing. Feel free to hang out if you like. If you want to support the channel, check out the site, buy some synth merch, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace.